morning and welcome back to Green Magnolias. My name is Alma. Welcome back. Life's just been kind of busy. I have a bunch of video ideas that I've mentioned in previous videos, but just kind of like executing them and getting them done. That's what I'm struggling with. But today I thought I would take you along in finishing a book. I started reading. I didn't necessarily make a February TBR. I have my tea. We have another cold front here. I'm sorry for any and all of you if you're further up north, like New Hampshire, New York, and all that stuff. God bless. Stay safe. Stay warm. It looks beautiful, but while I do miss a change of season, I wouldn't miss that for sure. So I didn't necessarily have a February TBR, and the month's like already almost over. I haven't read too much this month. I have finished books, but like I'm just trying to slow down a bit and just really process the books that I'm reading, because I just felt like last year while I read amazing books and I can tell you like how amazing they were and I discovered amazing authors, I just felt like I was just okay, the next one, the next one, the next one. And I don't know, like I want to like I'm not a slow reader. I don't want to become a slow reader, but I just want to like appreciate the book more and like really think, was it really a 5-star? Was it really a 4-star? Um, if it's bad or like I just don't like it, I don't bother reading it. I don't force myself to read it to then give it like a 2-star. Like I don't think I've ever, last year, I read 2 books that were like barely a 2-star. And the first one, Our Infinite Fates, I only pushed through because I just wanted to see them together after everything that those 2 went through. And the second one, I forget what it was called. I was just like, oh, maybe it'll get better. And I just kind of like pushed through, which it was still like horribly done. Like I felt no love between the 2 characters. Like it was just awful. And for such an intricate world, I felt like it didn't give enough world building to like understand things. But anyway, so I don't push myself to like finish a book that I clearly don't like for XYZ. Anyway, so for this month, I picked up the Raven Boys, book 1 in the Raven Cycle by Maggie Streifbatter. Streifbatter. I'm probably mispronouncing that, but I have seen this like, you know, on Instagram and stuff like that, or kind of like this got me into this, and they use this as a comparison. And it is a YA paranormal fantasy romance. It's 4 books. I have all of them. I'm listening to it in tandem with the audio, which is actually really good. It's a gentleman, I'll put his name here, who's the narrator, and he does a really good job of putting like a lot of emotion and emphasis on what the characters are feeling. There's multiple characters. There's 3 boys, Gansey, Ronan, and Adam. And no, there's 4 boys, sorry. And then there's Blue, Sergeant. Blue Sergeant. And it's like the first book, when I was towards the end, I had like chills. I don't tend to read horror. I did read one horror book, and it wasn't for me. It was a little too realistic. If it's too close to possible reality, no thank you. No thank you. But like if it's vampire, werewolf, like I could get down with that. If it's set in like horror setting, I could do that, I think. So I got like chills. Like it has to do with ghost, way lines, and all this stuff. So it was really good. And this came out in 2012 or so, if I'm not mistaken. So one of my goals this year, I'm not to like stick too close to it, but something that I would like to do would be to read the books that were really popular during my teen years that I wasn't into. I just like, I've watched the Hunger Game movies, at least the first one, long ago, but I never read the books. So I would really like to read the books this year. a few others. Like this is one of them. I just kind of want to see like, was it worth the hype of the time? And so far, like the characters aren't annoying, even though they're teens, um, and stuff like that. So I am finishing up book 2, The Dream Thieves, in the Raven Cycle, and I only have like a little bit to go. So I just wanted to bring you along as I finish it. I also am really close to being done with The Outlaw Viking by Sandra Hill. It is my first book of hers, and it's really good. It's funny, it's heartfelt, it's gut-wrenching. Like it's actually like really, really good. And the cover is everything. Anytime I see these covers at the thrift store, I grab it. And I mean, I do try to be mindful. Like I read the back, like just because the cover is beautiful doesn't mean it's good on the inside. I still remember when I finally was like, why am I not reading my damn books when I started collecting from my library? And I picked one up. The cover was, I should have ripped and kept the cover because I just threw that book in the trash. It was probably the most horrific historical romance I've ever read. And of course, like these older historical romances, very questionable, things that are like in today's time, not healthy, not, red flag type of situation. And, like that's just something you have to take with a grain of salt. It's really funny. A lot of people are reading, with the Bridgerton out, they're going to go read the books and they're like, what the heck? And I'm like, yeah, that's historical romance. Some of them are not as bad as others. Like there's a lot of, like Lisa Kleypas, for example, one of my favorite historical authors, and she's coming out with a new book finally. She's been like, has done nothing for like almost 6 years, so it's really exciting. And she writes super passion. Like yes, the men are like grovelly and like dark and grumpy and stuff like that, but the passion is just the yearning, the like pursuits. Everything about historical romance I love. But anyways, I read that book that I started, like, okay, I gotta start reading my TBR, you know wrapping back to my point. And I was like yelling, and I think I hate finished that book because I was like, okay, where's the groveling? Because the man's always like an entitled rich ton dude, and he's like, he's the one that ends up groveling, and it's just always so good. you know so when I was like, okay, there was so much marital rape. I was like, girl, do not go away, go far away, get on a boat, go back to England. Do not go back to this monster. And there was just like no redeeming qualities. Like not that I've never, honestly, like I've never read a ton. The whole marital thing is, I've only read that in the historical romances that I've read at least like twice. That book and then like another book. And even in that one, while, it was kind of like, shit, okay, I don't like this. But I mean, towards the end, like the guy realized what he did. I mean, it was kind of like a misunderstanding situation. Again, it was a very like gray, like dark gray area of just like, but like it only happened once. The guy like did everything in his power to like make it up to her and was like just horrified of like his actions type of thing because of the misunderstanding situation. And again, not excusing, but like compared to this other one was like 4 times. I was just like, no, no, I'm sorry, no, no redeeming, nothing. So I threw that in the trash. But people are, going back to my other point, people are going back and reading the Bridgerton series and they're like, what? And I'm just like, yeah, I will always stand by historical romance, but it is like an adjustment um, to reading something like modern that has like women's rights and this and this and that. And it's just kind of like, oh. But this one's like really well done. I love the characters. I love the banter. Um, the main female character, what's her name? Rain. her like reaction to things is getting a little cumbersome, and it's just kind of like, okay, I feel like that's such an extreme reaction for something so minor. Like it would say, the main male character who is um Selk Selleck, he does something and then she like sneers at him in disgust. But then it's like a banter, like cutesy, like, oh my god, I'm mad at you, but it's just okay. um so anyway, so let's get into reading. I'm listening to the audiobook and reading, and hopefully I can get done, and then I'll kind of give my like real time reaction to the ending, because like the ending here was like, okay, holy crap, and things are really picking up in this book. Okay, I just holy crap, what an ending. Like, honestly, this series is so well written. I have, again, I don't tend to read scary stuff or whatever, but this is written in such a way, even though it's like really fast paced and there's like a lot going on, and maybe like, oh, it's not as descriptive as other books as I've read, I guess, to put it one way. Chills, oh my gosh, like so good. So I mean, I could not imagine um, reading these books as they were coming out because the endings are absolutely wild, 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 wild. So I finished book 2. I'm going to go ahead and jump right into book 3, which is Blue Lily Lily Blue. Wow, really good, really good. Really good writer for sure. I also have a plan to read a couple of her other series. Um, she just fairly recently came out with a series following one of the characters from this story, Ronan, which I think would be pretty cool to read. There's a series that came out before this one. I don't know what the whole series is called, but the first book is Shiver. I really want to read that because it has to do with werewolves. And it sounds really good. Holy moly, that was amazing. Oh, so good. And that's exactly how I felt after finishing book 1. I was like, what? Insane, insane. I also want to share kind of like, I have like had a stack of books just following me around the house. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to read them, this and this and that from my own like collection. And I want to try my best to like get to them. So my next one to finish is this because again, I like to. The reason why it looks like that, what I like to do personally, is I'm reading where I am, and then I give myself a goal. Like, okay, I'm going to read up to where my bookmark is. So it kind of, to motivate me, I guess. A couple of others that I really want to read. These two are Westerns, which I read for the first time last year, like Western historical romance, which was so good. So I have Relentless by Patricia Potter. Has to do that was a guy was wrongfully jailed and he's out to take vengeance and he happens to come across the guy's daughter and all that jazz. But he has a pet mouse that he befriended in jail. It's so freaking cute. I didn't realize that, but it's like it's in, I don't know, you can kind of see it's on her knee, I guess. So beautiful, like setback, stunning. So that's how much I read of this months ago. I do vaguely remember still what's going on, but I might refresh my memory. And then the other one I want to try out is A Dangerous Man by Rosemary Rogers. Another Western. I mean, there's some covers of new books coming out, like fantasy, romance, that are like good. But please, I wish if I ever end up writing a book, I'm gonna have like an oil like painting setbacks type of situation thing. Because this is just perfection. It is so beautiful. The like a detail, I just can't. Right. So that's one of the other things I want to read. And then I have this one. This is just historical romance. Every Bit a Rogue by Ardeen Basso. So this was kind of like they were getting rid of it. I think it was on the sale shelf, so I picked it up. So that one, it's a quick little read. I mean, that's the thing that I love about historical romance. They're barely over, like they average like 350 pages, most of them. So that one, and then one of my favorite authors of all time, which I have her book that's part of my TBR, her new series that she came out with, but Anne Bishop. This is The Pillars of the World. This series, I forget what this series is called in particularly. No, I don't know. But this series, that's one of my other goals. Again, I don't have like a set TBR. I don't think I'm going to do that either for the month of March. I'm just going to like read. And then I'm also trying out, like, I know I know. I just finished reading a Stormlight Archive, and I'm like, I need a break from like brick books, even though I love like big books. But I'm trying it out, and so far, like the writing's very interesting. I really like it. It's a really easy read so far. I mean, I've only read like 34 pages, but it's The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I've seen this mentioned many a times in like books you like have to read that are just like top tier high fantasy. So I'm giving this a go. So far so good still. No audiobook with this one, unfortunately, which is fine. I'm trying to adjust myself back to being able to just read a book without audio. I can, but it's just like adding the audio while tandem reading is just, I love it. I love it. It immerses you like way more into the book, and like I feel like you just absorb it better that way. It's also just convenient because like, okay, I can't hold my book, but I want to read, so I listen and then I, do my thing and stuff like that. So I'm gonna end the video here. Thank you for coming along with me. I seriously, if you have not, I'm only on book, I'm about to enter book 3, but the Raven Cycle series, um, I can't recommend it enough already, just from 2 books. It's so good. It's held up so well. Like the female character is not annoying, even though they're teens and stuff like that. Even like the parental characters, like Lou's parent mom and the people in the household she lives of psychics, amazing characters. They're so interesting. Dynamics very interesting. So yeah, I'm gonna end it here. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you read something amazing and make something beautiful. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.